Fabulous. Well, welcome this morning to Gardening in the South and to the J.C. Ralston Arboretum. I don't know how many of you, if we can see a show of hands, is their first time visiting our garden today? Fabulous. Well, welcome. This program is actually started as, I guess, Mark Wethington, our director, wrote a book, Gardening in the South. And from that, we realized how many people are moving to this area, or perhaps just have found the time to start gardening, and so we wanted to kind of reach those people. And we're able to do that because of sponsors like Leaf and Limb. If you haven't had a chance to talk to these people, please do. They're an amazing organization who have been great friends to our garden. They are member benefit providers, which means if you're a member, they offer some great consults and rates there for you. So, Gardening in the South. How many of you are new to gardening? Great. So when we first started Gardening in the South in this program, we hit the highlights of design and the more beautiful things about gardening. But what we realized is that we have a lot of questions about disease and weeds and maybe those other things that challenge us in our gardens. And so that's what inspired the program today. Before we get started, I kind of want you to realize too what a horticulturally rich area that we live in. We have so many beautiful gardens, and we communicate regularly as a staff with the other botanical gardens in our area. So if you haven't visited like Juniper Level Botanic Gardens, Sarah P. Duke Gardens, UNC, please do. They're an amazing gardens, and they have a lot of knowledge and great programming they offer there too. So we wanted to kind of get you, it seems like a lot of you are pretty familiar with us, but we realized in some of the previous Gardening in the South series that the people had a lot of questions for us about who we are and what we're doing. So we wanted to spend a little bit of time just to kind of introduce you to the J.C. Ralston Arboretum. So many of you know that the garden was originally founded by Dr. J.C. Ralston, who moved to the area from Texas. And when he moved to this area, he realized how few plants are actually used in the landscape. And so he started this garden, and that was his mission. He really wanted to increase the plant palette that was available in nursery trade for this area. And so he started collecting them worldwide, was very passionate about doing it, and he made it his mission to plan and plant for a better world. And I have to say, with every director that we've had since, they've really continued his mission. Our director, Mark Wethington, wasn't able to be here today, but he does really appreciate you all attending. My name's Arlene Calhoun, and I'm the assistant director here. And so I'm kind of more on the people side of things and what we do in our organization. We are, there's Dr. Ralston. So amazingly, there are so many people that are still in our community who was inspired by this gentleman. I hate that I never got to meet him. He died unexpectedly. But and the garden was then named after him. But people still share stories regularly with me about what an inspiration this man was to horticulture. So we're a university garden, a university research garden. And so if any of you know our existing director, he travels very regularly within the country and outside the country collecting plant material. We're only 10.5 acres, and we actually have, you can see the number, over 7,000 types in the garden. So I think Dr. Ralston would be very pleased in how many plants we've brought to the area. The purpose of the garden is to kind of trial those plants and introduce them to the nurseryman. So our director meets regularly, as does our hort staff, with different growers within the region, and we share the plant material that we have with them. And so they kind of trial it and see if it's economically viable for them to produce and then to eventually work into the trade. We have 2 notable collections from the Plant Collections Network, and that is our Redbud collection and our Magnolia collection. And I know already this morning I've had a couple of people to ask me about Japanese maples. So I just wanted to share a fun fact about our garden And that is, no matter where you're standing in the garden, you should always be able to spot a Japanese maple, at least one. So if you find that magic spot where there isn't one, let us know. We need to make that happen. So our mission, as you can see, we're still very much on mission. It is to introduce plants, promote, and diversify in the education piece. And we are still very much on track with doing that. If you aren't a member, please check out our programming, especially if you're interested in topics like today. As a part of NC State University, we are really lucky to have access to some incredible knowledge and folks that are willing to share that knowledge. So please check out the programs that we're offering. So many of you probably noticed our construction coming in. Sorry for a little bit of mess up there, but we are actually extending our brick columns and adding a new parking gate. So that is well funded by some of our donors. So we are operating as a nonprofit, and we're really proud that we're an admission-free garden. And it is without question that support from sponsors like Leaf and Limb, our donors, our members, people really have standing behind this garden for a long time. We're a really small staff with only 6 full-time folks. Actually, only 2 full-time horticulturalists in this garden. So it is an amazing group of people. We have 10 part-time folks and 17 seasonal. And those 17 seasonal actually include a lot of students. And again, our donors, sponsors, really help fund that help for us through the season. We have 4 interns in the summer, so we only have 2 full-time staff. So you can imagine what that does. We get a lot done during our summer months, but we have an amazing 306 volunteers. And we absolutely could not keep the garden looking as it does without them. Our members, 3,318. So we're doing quite well. Thank you. The J.C. Ralston Arboretum, we are committed and passionate about connecting people with plants. I mean, that is as simple as we can get. And we do it in a lot of ways. We start young. We have an amazing children program coordinator, and I think 3 people mentioned to me this morning about their grandchildren attending camp here. Even one gave us a bigger thumbs up than the art museum, so thank you for that. But Elizabeth Overcash does an amazing job. She tries to keep the children outside, active, and engaged in horticulture no matter what she's doing. She works a lot with the homeschooling, just different kind of things. This will give you an idea of our camps. Check it out, or please pass along. It's an amazing program. We have a plant giveaway that's coming up. It's probably one of the #1 member benefits, and we give over 3,000 plants away in about 15 minutes. I know that sounds really scary. It is not. We are a very calm, very giving group of people. It's very organized. So please, if you haven't joined, consider it, because you will get plants that you won't be able to find readily in the industry. A lot of the plants that we give away are propagated by our students and our interns. So you do get a pipeline to plants that you might not otherwise have opportunity. A couple of other events coming up, Moonlight in the Garden. It's a big fundraiser for us. John Gardner and his team at Southern Lights of Raleigh come out and actually put in temporary lighting throughout 2/3 of the garden. It is a magical night if you've never experienced it. Food trucks, fire pits, bands. We try to keep the number of tickets that we offer pretty low, so that anytime you're in the garden, it keeps our collection safe, because we do want to prioritize that, but then it also gives you space to move around the garden and enjoy your time here. If you're a member, tickets are on sale. They started last week. They'll go on sale to the general public on the 17th of September, and we did sell out every night last year. Member preview night is on November 5th, and it is the only night where we actually will have beer and wine served, and it's catered, and we don't use food trucks. We do limit that to only 500 people, so those tickets go pretty quickly. If you like this kind of formatting of a program, we actually have our winter symposium, and Chris, our adult program coordinator, is offering $10 off that registration if you register today. So they've got, I think that was part of the handout, so you can get an idea of who those speakers are. Ralston Blooms, again, a great plant sale, a great day. It's the first Saturday in April. Another member benefit is if you get to shop the sale before it's open to the public. So we open it on Friday evening for our members. And it's a great time. Plants go fast. Catherine Wall, our membership and volunteer coordinator, I don't see her in the room at the moment. She'll be at the table, and I'll introduce her later. If you have any questions about membership or volunteering, please talk to her today. We'd love to have you. Most people don't know that we actually rent the space in our garden, and that also helps to generate our operating budget. So think about us for that. So this will just kind of give you an idea, you know, of all the things that makes the J.C. Ralston Arboretum what it is. Please consider joining. We'd love to have you join our team and be a part of our family. There's a lot of benefits, and there are brochures that can kind of help you with that. So today's program, weeds, insects, and disease. I know, right? It is, but I don't see the lady I walked in this morning. Oh, there she is. I mean, she was talking about how excited she was about that. I think we all are, because we all have these challenges, right? And so we have this incredible pipeline into the university that kind of helps us get the knowledge into the hands of folks who need it.